guys. I wanted to talk about tarot. A lot of people ask me, they think tarot is evil, it's of the devil, it's terrible. And I guess I want to tell you guys my experience with tarot, how I got into it, how long I've been into it, and what my thoughts are about it. And to also say that throughout our time on earth, throughout our history, we've been lied to about a whole lot of things. And one of them is tarot, spirituality, religion, all that good kind of stuff. And soon, I think, we're going to find out all the truths. I don't think it can be hidden anymore, but we have been lied to about a lot of things. And what you're told about things that are considered occult studies might not necessarily be true. And I think you should research it yourself, maybe have some experience with it before you judge something. But you can judge it if you want to. I'm just here to tell my story, how I got into it, and what my thoughts are on tarot in general. When I was in my 30s, I think I was right about 30, 29, 30. I was in the middle of my Saturn return, astrology, and that is a period of time that's pretty difficult for most people. 28 to 32 is everybody has a Saturn return during that time. And it's kind of like, it's a new level of adulthood or a new level of responsibility. A lot of people get married around that time. Some people get divorced because they got married prior to and they realized when they hit that point, they weren't interested in being married anymore. That would be me. So I was going through divorce. And it was a very, very difficult time. I mean, it seemed like just everything was so heavy and so hard, and it was terrible. I have great compassion for anybody going through a Saturn return because it is a very difficult time in your life. Second Saturn return, which I am in now, is not as hard, but it's still hard. And if you make it to your third Saturn return, you're doing really good. But I'm going through my Saturn return and I'm having a really difficult time. And I went to Porter's Books. And I was walking around looking at books. And I saw this book. And I opened it up and I started reading. I really didn't know what it was. I started reading and I was like, wow. This is really resonating with me. I mean, it just captured me, and I ended up buying it. And I took it home. I bought it and a couple of other things, and I took it home, and I started looking at it, and I was like, this is a tarot book. And of course, I didn't buy the cards because I didn't realize, even though it says, tarot, duh, on the front of it. So the next day, I went to the local metaphysical store, witch store, whatever you want to call it, down the street, and I bought the cards. And these are the cards. Those are the back of the cards. These are kind of gives you, they're beautiful cards. I mean, they're absolutely fabulous. Anyway, The name of the book is called The Mirror of the Soul. And I found out very quickly from playing with these cards and reading the definitions. I started doing it pretty much every day. And I started connecting a lot of things in my life to what I was studying with these cards and with this book. And I realized that I was really good at lying to myself about all kinds of things. I just was clueless, totally clueless. And things that I was reading, you know, these layout, I would do a layout and I would read and I would be like, God, you know, it forced me to face reality, I guess, is what I would say. And I have used this deck for my own personal readings for the last 30 years. I am now in my second Saturn return. So I'm almost 60 years old. And I have used this deck and this book for 30 years. And I'm not growing horns, and I'm not all evil and hateful and wanting to, you know, do harm to people. And I think probably there's a lot of misconceptions about tarot. To me, there's other people who will give you their opinion. I used to read other people. Used to read tarot cards for other people. And I realized a couple years into it that pretty much what happens is when you lay out a spread on somebody or on yourself, you're basically picking up thoughts, feelings, emotions from the person getting the reading, where they are at this given time. The minute you do this reading and you tell this person what you're seeing in this reading, their thought process changes. And you can literally turn around and do another reading and it will be completely different than the first reading. And that is because through this reading, their consciousness has expanded and their vision of whatever the situation is or themselves has grown. And when that happens, creativity kicks in and the person starts to kind of work through a lot of the stuff. And if you do another spread on them, you can actually see them working through that process. Now, there's also another element to it, which is divine guidance. Your guides are helping you to process through this and helping you give them the best advice or the best direction that they should go in. But that's a whole nother video. I don't see anything wrong with tarot. For me personally, it has been a very useful tool in my own growth and evolution. And I will, till the day I die, probably continue to do tarot. Now, do I always do this deck? No. But this primarily is my deck for working on myself, working on my own issues, whatever's going on for me. I don't really read other people with this deck. If I'm going to read another person, it's usually a form of Rider-Waite. Um, what else? So when people ask, is it, you know, evil? Is it bad? Is it? My response is always, it depends on your intention. So there are tarot decks that have a tendency to focus on dark. There are tarot decks that focus on light. And there are tarot decks, I would say the mass majority of them are kind of neutral. You know, they don't really go one way or another. And I think in general they do. Although I have seen some tarot decks that I've looked at and I've thought, wow, this one's kind of scary and dark. But it is the reader's intention, or if you're reading yourself, your intention. Like if, you know, you're giving a reading to somebody and you're focusing on dark and negative and, you know, bad stuff, then yeah, it's bad. But if you're doing it and your intention is love, light, happiness, and you want the best for this person, then it is going to be that. It is whatever you create, which is why I stopped reading for people when I was younger, because I realized that it is up to you. Your mind is what creates your reality. If you think that you're going to die of cancer at 60, you're going to die of cancer at 60. I mean, you are creating your life in your mind. Yeah, there's outside factors that you don't have any control over. Maybe. If you knew you were creating it, you might not feel that those outside factors are so outside after all. Like, for instance, everything that's going on in the universe right now, or in the United States anyway, everything has kind of a funny little correlation to a lot of the movies that we've seen over the years. And I've wondered if we didn't create exactly what's going on in the world today. If you get one person who thinks something, that's pretty powerful. But if you get a million people who think something, that's really powerful. And if they all think the same thing and they're all thinking that that thing is going to create, wouldn't it be possible that we're actually creating our own misery? So again, it goes back to the beginning. If you are thinking positive thoughts, you are expecting positive things in your life, if the person who's reading you is being positive and they're expecting positive things for you, then that is the direction that it's going to go. It's going to be positive. If you think it's going to be negative, the person tells you all kinds of negative things that are going to happen, chances are you're going to believe it and you're going to literally create those things in your life. But I stopped reading because I realized that readings really don't matter when it comes to reading another person. It's what they think. I would rather spend my time helping somebody think positive than giving them a reading, because 2 weeks after you've given them the reading, they're right back to their old things. I would rather teach somebody how to read themselves. And work with that energy to change whatever their thought pattern is and make it better. And sometimes people want to do that, other times people don't want to do it. But do I think tarot is evil? No, I don't think this is not in itself is not evil. It's the intention that you have behind this. It is how you view it. It's how you create your reality. That's pretty much it. Let me know below if you agree, you disagree, you have experiences that tell otherwise. I mean, I'd be very curious to know what other people feel about it. Let me know. And just so you know, we do carry this deck on our webpage. I'll leave the link below. Like, share, and subscribe. Have a great day.